They say cities don't become global by accident. They're built that way, by bold ideas, powered by innovation. A southern city became a world city. Atlanta didn't wait for permission. It created access.
The long-awaited first big league game is here.
The first major professional team in the South. Records broken.
He did it! Henry Aaron is the all-time home run leader now.
Barriers crossed. Atlanta's team became America's team. You didn't have to be here to feel it. You just had to tune in.
The team of the 90s has its world championship.
That access created generations, passed down, worn proudly.
The Atlanta Braves are world champions.
Now, we honor that legacy, not by looking back, but by bringing it forward. This is a nod to an era, remixed for the next one. A uniform inspired by innovation. This isn't just what we wear, it's who we've always been. Connected, unmistakable, proud, Braves country. This is Atlanta, and this is ours.
So many incredible memories, and now this new crop of Braves in an old uniform made new. Try to make some memories here in 2026. And yes, the man himself, Dale Murphy, who helped make that uniform so famous throughout the first pitch tonight. Also in that uniform and ready down in the well is Mr. Paul Bird.
Brandon, what is going on? In case you're like Charlie Culberson and did not get to live in the 80s, it was truly the best decade. And I got to give a shout out to the Braves team for making these City Connects jerseys. They are fantastic and take me way back. Now, it doesn't matter about two of these guys on the Braves team. Whatever jersey they put on, they're really happy.
In Atlanta, you got all these different little pockets around the city. Every little different neighborhood kind of feels like its own city, but it's all Atlanta, which, you know, I think is pretty cool. You can drive 15 minutes and kind of feel like you're in a different place a little bit.
I take a lot of pride from being from Atlanta. There's a lot of history that went on in Atlanta with sports and without sports. So you can see it. You can see it at Truist. They have the, I guess, area with Hank Aaron, and even going around the city, you can go to different museums and find out about what happened in Atlanta, sports and not sports. So I think it's huge for me to be from Atlanta and be able to put on this jersey to represent the city and the team.
Well, I didn't grow up in Atlanta, but when I got to put this jersey on, it was super special because I'd watched him on TBS for a long, long time. Today is a great pitching matchup. We talked to you about Bryce Elder, Game 1 versus the Guardians. This is our first Friday night showdown. Gretchen Caney is back in the truck. Brandon and CJ on hot sticks. They're dressed in old school. Friday night showdown brought to you by Kaiser Permanente.
Attention break.
Okay, now that you've bundled your boat and RV with your home and auto,
A spectacular Friday night for baseball here in Atlanta, Truist Park. The Guardians and the Braves starting a 3-game series. Let's get you the lineup for Cleveland, presented by Racetrack. Manager Stephen Vogt putting Stephen Kwan at the top of the order. Rookie sensation Chase DeLauter, and then the longtime veteran Jose Ramirez batting third. On the mound, third start of the season for Bryce Elder, and CJ, he is off to a tremendous start.
He certainly is, and for the Guardians, they put all those lefties and switch hitters in there. That could be a problem because Bryce Elder has been excellent going back to last year. Lefties hitting just .229 against him. How about that strikeout to walk ratio? The strikeouts are up, not known as a strikeout pitcher, but that strikeout rate has been excellent here early on.
73 degrees, supposed to get down into the mid-60s. Just beautiful here for game 1 of this series. The Braves sporting those awesome City Connect uniforms, a throwback to the 80s, and off we go with a 4-seam fastball high. They are gorgeous, aren't they?
They did it perfect. A really nice job. The color is great. The logo across the front, the logo on the sleeve is fantastic.
And this is fantastic. 2 pitches and a routine grounder to second off the bat of Kwan. Racetrack defense for the Atlanta Braves behind Bryce Elder. Yastrzemski, Harris, and Acuna in the outfield. On the corners, Riley and Olsen. You saw Ozzie make that play. Dubon at short, and Drake Baldwin off to a fantastic sophomore campaign is the battery mate for Elder. And this guy at the plate, Chase DeLauter, rookie, already has 5 homers, tied with Drake Baldwin and a couple of others for the major league lead.
Half of his team homers. They only have 10, and he's got 5 of them. And for those that may not remember, we got an early challenge.
2 batters in.
Gonna call him a strike.
It's Dexter Kelly, by the way, who's a rookie umpire, only has 4 big league games under his belt.
Call on the field is overturned. Cleveland has 2 challenges around.
So they do keep their challenge. And what can we expect from Dexter Kelly?
It's a great question. I mean, I looked at the minor league heat maps. There really wasn't much to it. The 4 games last year at the big league level, he was a pretty ice cold guy at the top, meaning he was tight, and not surprising based on what we saw, he's big at the bottom.
And Dexter Kelly, folks, is from Atlanta, born here, grew up in Augusta, and was a good player at Savannah State from 2008 to 2011. He made his major league debut that CJ is referencing here at Truist last year, and now he gets another opportunity tonight.
And that's not by mistake, right? As a fill-in guy is going to get some opportunities. If they can get him in his hometown, they like to do that for an umpire. Really cool of Major League Baseball and the Umpires Association to get that for Kelly.
Check down, and no, Brennan Miller down there at third. So 3-2 is the count to DeLauter.
Take a look at from the side. Did he go? That's probably a good call.
Yeah. Payoff pitch out to center field. Harris has all the colors going out there. 2 down. All right, CJ, how about the Ford Keys tonight?
Well, you usually hear about cut day, and it's not necessarily a good thing, and it's not for the Guardians. I think we're going to see that new Bryce Elder cutter quite a bit today. You know about old number 7. I know you do. But what about old number 3? Dale Murphy here on throwback night in these beautiful uniforms. We're going to have an opportunity to talk to him tonight. Let's win one for old number 3.
Fitting that he'll be with us in inning number 3 today. Throughout the first pitch did Dale Murphy tonight. Okay, you kind of talked about it in the pregame. For those that missed it, what are we watching in this matchup, Elder and Ramirez?
Really difficult to strike him out, right? You're not looking for swing and miss unless it's going to be outside of the strike zone. You saw that first pitch slider that was backdoor. That was really well done. Now you just saw a changeup for Chase. You're going to keep that out of the zone. If Bryce Elder throws his 4-seam fastball to Jose Ramirez tonight, it has got to be in. Whether it's down, middle, or up, it's just got to be in.
There's the cutter. A ball and 2 strikes.
And I think the idea there, and it's been exclusively to left-handed hitters, of course Ramirez is a switch, is the cutter again, is to get guys a little bit more aware inside so it opens up the outside. So not just watching the cutter, but what does he do after the cutter? Could it be the 2-seamer or the changeup here?
And he tried the slider in the dirt. Ramirez did not offer. Jose Ramirez just set the Guardians franchise record. 1,620th consecutive, or not consecutive, but game played on Monday. That is more than anybody else in the history of Cleveland's organization. And he has been around for a long time and doing it at a very high level.
And I don't know if Elder will go there early, but up and away with the four-seamer, there's been some chase up there as well for Jose Ramirez for swing and miss, but it's got to be out of the zone. I'm not sure you want to take that chance and get it to 3-2.
Payoff pitch.
Oh, ring him.
A challenge from Drake Baldwin. So Cleveland had one. Now the Braves.
Catch the challenge and the call of a ball.
So we tried the front door two-seam fastball there. It looked like it came back and caught plenty of the plate. Was it too high? Wow.
Call on the field is confirmed. Atlanta has one challenge remaining.
I thought it may have missed, but I didn't think it missed by that much.
Very interesting. Remember, of course, the strike zone that you see is based on the height of the player. Now you see it there with the box, I guess so, but you watch it live, and that's what I kind of like about watching the game without the boxes. You're forced to play along and not just rely on the tech, and I like that pitch, and so did Drake Baldwin. We're like twins, me and him.
So Braves down to one challenge now, and the cleanup man Manzardo at the plate.
We definitely don't want to see a repeat of last homestand where the Braves were out of challenges 14 pitches into the game. So Ronald needs to be aware when he leads things off. Maybe no matter what, don't challenge one.
Everybody's still figuring that challenge process out, but the Braves have struggled a little bit in that department compared to the other major league teams.
But not the Guardians. The Guardians actually the second worst success rate at 40%. So that was a big win for them that they got the first one right.
Manzardo hammers it down the line, but it is going foul.
Good example of what we talk about with the Bryce Elder cutter. That's about as much of the plate and maybe even a little bit too much that you want him to catch. That was inner third, and it sounds almost unfair to say, but black and in. Right on the black or in off the play for me. That is not a pitch you want for a strike.
Manzardo hits cleanup for a reason. 27 homers last season. Another check over on Ramirez. Walt Weiss has his team off to an 8-5 start, same as Cleveland visiting here tonight. Swing and a miss. A slider gets Manzardo to end the top of the first.
This one is filthy right here, and a good adjustment from Bryce Elder, what we call the back foot slider for the punching.
Truck is having trouble starting.
The sun is starting to set here on this Friday night. Nothing for Cleveland in the top half, and now the Braves coming up Racetrack lineup starts with Acuna, and then Baldwin and Olsen. Riley cleaning up. Slade Ciccone, the 26-year-old righty, on the mound for the Guardians.
6-pitch mix is what we've seen so far this year. The curveball is the best secondary offering that he has.
Acuna, first pitch, and he skies it behind home plate, and it will get into the seats.
Go back to the beginning of last year for Ciccone. Four-seam fastballs yielded an 822 OPS. That has been a pitch that hitters have been able to get to, especially the righties, who've hit 354 on his four-seamer.
Hopefully more of that to come tonight for the Braves. He throws it there to get to 0-2.
A first look at the helmets, not surprising. They're awesome.
There's something about the way that powder blue pops. The Braves had the City Connect launch party yesterday, and so many fans around the stadium getting the replica jersey handout before the game today. So City Connect feel everywhere inside Truist tonight. Acuna deep out to right center. Is that his first of the year? It is not. Just short at the wall. It's brought in by DeLauder. Boy, Acuna has come close, CJ, many times, but another one that stays in the yard.
It was the sound, it was the follow-through that we're used to from Ronald, and it was 100 miles an hour off the bat. I was with you. I thought that one was going to get out of here. I think Slade Ciccone thought that ball was going to get out of here, but it did not carry to right.
So just a loud out, as CJ's radio show is called.
Weekdays 2 to 5 on Sirius XM.
But this guy has had no trouble hitting the ball out of the park this year. 5 home runs, tied for the major league lead for Baldwin.
And I didn't even take note, but I'm sure that Drake Baldwin's probably got that catcher's scully that looks like that as well. That one, I think, listen, it'd be tough to walk around with a helmet, but I think you could get away with the catcher's scully and walking around without the ear flap. Could be a hot item. Let's get that in the store.
Martinez and Ramirez giving chase. No play. Well, the clubhouse store was just jam-packed with people trying to get their hands on all that City Connect gear. And what a night to be at the ballpark. Early chance for Paul Bird over there to make a play.
A little bit of time off. Hopefully the hands are where they need to be.
Back row.
Oh, back row.
I'm ready.
He's ready.
Must get stretched out now. Lots already come this way.
Bird, you look great in that City Connect, by the way, partner.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. That's why they're really flying off the shelves. Curveball. Swing and a miss. 2 down. Let's show you the defense here for the Guardians, brought to you by Racetrack. So Quan, 4-time Gold Glover, they move him from left field to center field this year, so that's something to watch. And Ramirez over there at third. Rocchio moved from second to short because Gabriel Arias, normally a very good defender at short, is on the IL with a hamstring injury.
And not only do they move him to center field, but it's a plus arm that you get in center field from Stephen Kwan. So keep an eye on that. The Braves have been excellent going back to last year, going first to third. Balls hit to center field. You got to be a little bit more careful.
Rocchio takes care of Olsen. The Braves go in order in the first.
All right, fans.
Scoreless, on to the second inning. Time for our Kia Field Report. We welcome back in Paul Bird.
What's up, Brandon? I'm going to talk about the slider, which is powering on one side of the ball. You finish it, you hook it just a little bit and power through. The cutter, you'll come down here just a little bit. What are the dangers? Well, if you throw both, that you will actually lose. If you have a good slider, the slider, and if you have a good cutter, you're trying to pick up on the slider, you'll lose the other one. But if we can come back over here in just a second and show the difference. If you see the outside part of this finger, it's on this seam, and that's the slider. If I scoot this down and I have the middle, the index finger hooked on top of this seam right here, my middle finger is off the ball, and therefore you don't confuse the two pitches. So if you get a different grip and you have the option to tuck the thumb, then in your brain you won't try to make the slider do too much or the cutter not do enough, and you have two different pitches with two different grips, and you can work them off of each other, which is what we saw last inning when he finished with that good slider that had downward break. The hitter's thinking cutter, and the next thing you know, it's a totally different pitch, and you're a better pitcher for it.
Bert, do you think the spin does kind of look the same on those two because the hand position is nearly the same on the ball?
I do, and that's another thing. You know, Chris Sale, he throws his from kind of different angles at times. You get different depths. That's another way to skin the cat. But I love what Bryce Elder is doing, as you said, throwing it out the exact same tunneling arm spot, exact same wrist spot, so it looks the same, the spin looks the same, and then one breaks a foot, one breaks 3 to 4 inches.
And I say it a lot too, and I'm curious your thoughts on this. There, you know, as we take a look at a cutter there that's in, we say it a lot, right? If you put it in that spot, that's the only place you can hit it hard is foul.
Yes.
I don't like them anywhere, but like again, it's not fair. But like Black, maybe a little bit on the plate. Has there ever been a cutter, I guess maybe Mariano, Kenley, where you could throw it in the zone more? But are you on board with most guys not leaving it in the zone?
So I threw both. John Smoltz did not like throwing both, but he had the best slider in the league. So you also have to take these things into consideration. I didn't have the best slider in the league, so I needed to throw both. And I agree with you. If you have a better cutter, you can start it towards the middle of the plate because you're going to get more swings. Mariano had the best cutter. I don't know if you want to put the camera back on me, but if your middle finger is significantly longer than everybody else's, like Mariano's was, you can just throw a straight fastball.
Oh, look at Ozzie here. What a tremendous effort to rob Juan Brito of a hit.
Well, tremendous here from Ozzie. Slightly rude to interrupt our conversation, but he had work to do today on a two-seam fastball here from Bryce Elder. How about the extension and then realizing he had to hurry and a throw on the money, and not surprising to see Matt Olson with the pick on the other side.
So 2 down, and now here's Bo Naylor. All right, Bertie, go ahead.
Yeah, let's see that middle finger. I put you on camera.
Guys,
see your
I'm
middle
all
finger
for the
all
interruption, but that middle finger, if it's a lot longer than the index finger, again, it has to do with finger pressure. You can throw a straight fastball like Mariano did, and that's why his was so fast, and it came out like a cutter.
And Elder is cruising through 2.
Georgian.
Heading to the bottom of the second, taking a look at our Toyota Trends feature of the game. So Guardian pitcher striking a lot of people out. Braves hitters not striking out. Something's got to give tonight.
It does, and a key, I think, for the Braves, we already saw it with Drake Baldwin, is to keep Slade Cecconi in the zone. He does rely on some chase, a 30% chase rate for him. That's how you get a lot of that swing and miss, and it's going to come on the curveball again. That's what Drake Baldwin saw, and it was pretty nasty.
Cecconi had a quick 1-2-3 first, so now here's Riley. Four-seam fastball, 2-1. So Cecconi, third start of the season. He had one bad one his first time around against Seattle. 6 runs and 4 1/3, but he pitched a gem last time out April 5th against the Cubs. 6 shutout innings, just 1 hit. Guardians hoping that they see that version of Cecconi tonight. Stephen Vogt, what a tremendous job he's done. 3rd year as a manager. He won the Central both seasons. He was named the AL Manager of the Year in each of his first 2 seasons as well. And Riley lines it to Rocchio, 1 down.
It's interesting going back to what Paul Bird was just talking about when you throw both the slider and the cutter, and we see that from Cecconi, but the cutters that we saw in that at bat to Austin Riley, they're pretty big. Right? It's not that shorter, tighter cutter. And the difference between that and the slider then will be that depth that Birdie had mentioned, but he's one of those guys that also throws both.
He faces Yastrzemski now. And that delivery that starts close for Cecconi. A little unique out there for number 44 as well. Yes, swinging at the 2-0, it stays fair, and Manzardo makes the play. With a righty on the mound, Ozzie back in the 6 hole tonight.
Like how Ozzie's kept it a little bit more traditional with the colors, right? Socks and the batting gloves all kind of matching them. You know, the guy's got a little bit of a look. They got to know ahead of time, like, what does our blue look like, so we can get our gear to match properly. And Ozzie's done a nice job of that.
Yeah, I like with this particular jersey.
Well, you know what, Brandon?
You got them up here?
I think I have some of those socks here. You know, they gave us, I say gave. They brought all this stuff up here. I'm going to take it as gave.
Looks like you have
I don't know if they gave them. Well, you know, it's here for everybody. But they do have these in the store. Is this what Ozzie's wearing right now? Does that look right to you?
Yeah,
these Stance socks. Hard to say. Super thick, comfortable, and we got a pitch clock violation. I get it. Distracted by socks. We all are.
Only the 2nd time we've had one of those in the Braves' 14 games now this season.
You know what? I'm doing it. I'm going to open them up all the way, because the other part of this too, which is neat, is that they got the ATL, the Atlanta logo on there, Braves on here. Be the coolest kid in school and get you those socks.
But I feel like now that you've opened them, you got to put them on.
Well, they are large.
You're kind of pot committed at this point. So
they're large. I don't know what that means. What's the range? Oh, here we go. 9 to 13. I do fit in that range. Consider those stolen.
Like Antoine Richardson, shoes over there as well. Got a good look going at first base. Weak tap to second. Brito slides over. 6 up, 6 down so far for Slade Cecconi. The third inning is presented by Audi. The unveiling of the City Connect collection here. A throwback to the 80s. And what a beautiful jersey it is. And in inning number 3, it is so fitting to have number 3 up here with us. The great Dale Murphy. And so good to see you back in that powder blue.
Thank you. What I'm speechless. I mean, it's been a fun night, and when I heard what was happening with the jersey and this powder blue, it brought, you know, I always think about those days, but now it's just really close tonight, and to see this jersey, just, you know, I was lucky to play. I think about my teammates, my teams that we got to play on during the 80s. That time, it was really unique. It was just a different time, and it's just. It was so fun to be a part of it, and the older you get, the more you appreciate it, and then to come back and come onto the field in a DeLorean, gotta be kidding me.
What is it like seeing all these number 3 jerseys in the powder blue for you?
Nancy and I are so thankful. I'm sorry, am I interrupting?
Oh, no, it's just all Murph all the time.
There we go. Just a pop-up. Be able to play at a really unique time. TBS was rolling. Ted Turner figured out how to get us on. We were on every night. They said, Ted, you can't put on home games at night. He goes, we're putting on everything, every night, everywhere. Anyone who's got a dish or cable. And, we started noticing some things on the road. We started to get different. The crowd started to get different. And then we just, had a great time being able to play during those days. I run into people now, ask me all the time. I just, today ran into someone not from the area, not from the Southeast, but they're like, go through our lineup. And we weren't that good all the time, but we were on TV every night.
So you said you started to notice it when TBS was becoming a thing as you were playing here. Did you have any idea how revolutionary the television medium was going to be for Braves country?
Not really. They, around the batting cage, they said, hey, we need you to do a commercial. I go, well, what's it for? They go, Ted's starting a thing called CNN, 24-hour news. And we're like, well, that'll never work, but I'll do the commercial anyway. And so, I always say Ted didn't invent the satellite, but he invented how to use it, how to get programming on it. And, I feel like Ted should be in the Hall of Fame for growing the game of baseball, not only Braves country and what has been created here, but there's a lot of baseball fans around the country and the world because of what Ted did through TBS. And I might say, I say this all the time, remember back then growing up, the game of the week was about it, and then this came along, and so Skip, Ernie, and Pete, it was just a different kind of thing to have a game on every night wherever you lived with your hometown broadcast every night. It was such a unique thing, and so it was a lot of fun. I think about my teammates. I love to get together with them, and we have some great times.
Well, and I know, well, hold on, we might have to put a pin in this. Oh, that gets by Dubon. That's rare for him. But Kwan with great speed probably reaches regardless. So 1 on with 2 out. But I know you're out west, but you get back here so often, and every time you are here, it doesn't amaze me because I know how popular you are. What amazes me though is how you take time with everybody for a picture, an autograph, and you're known as one of the nicest humans in the world. But on a night like this, does it just feel extra special for you?
Absolutely. You know, what can I say? The giveaways, the Murphy jersey tonight, and it's the powder blue, and now the City Connect jerseys, powder blue, and kind of the throwback, the whole thing. You know, it's just really close to, I don't know how to say it except that tonight feels really extra special, and always appreciate the chance, you know, I had to do what I did, but to be able to come back and shake hands with, you know, a 8-year-old, a 10-year-old wearing a Murphy jersey, you know, it's hard to put it into words.
It's good parenting.
That's
what it is.
That's right. That's
great
right.
parenting.
That's right.
They know what they're doing. You know, something we never really talk about much. We always talk about how TBS grew Braves country and how big it is, and we still see it to this day as we make our way around the country. But I had to put a lot of thought into what it actually meant for the players, in the sense that not that you're trying to grow a brand when you're playing, you're just out there playing.
Yeah.
But you became you were a good player, period, great player, but even a bigger player because the entire country got to watch you play.
Exactly. Well, that's a good point. We weren't trying to do anything, but being on in people's, you know, homes every night, and to be able to relive that and still talk to people about those days is just it's a great honor. And we look back. You know, I was just with Bruce Benedict and Glenn Hubbard a few weeks ago. I think Hub was at the ballpark tonight. You know, we shake our heads. We say that we were pretty lucky to play that. It was kind of revolutionary to a certain extent. The game was different. These guys are much better athletes than we were, but it was a different type of game, and the media was starting to you know, percolate as to what was going to happen with satellite TV and streaming, and you know, now it's completely different. But I was with.
Well, you're going to stay for the bottom of the inning,
stay.
Right? Okay.
We'll finish that thought.
We talked him into it. He's coming back for the bottom of the 3rd. No score.
USA.
Murphy, in my mind, is probably the most complete player there is in the league right now. He can beat you with his glove, he can beat you with his arm, he can beat you stealing the base, he can beat you with the home run, and with the base hit. He is such a complete player that it's really a joy watching him.
Joe Torre with his thoughts on the great Dale Murphy. By the way, I've never felt more inferior than wearing the uniform that you made famous. But hearing Joe Torre from all those years ago say that, of course, a guy that means a ton to you.
Yeah, you know, Ted and the organization, Bill Lucas drafted me, gave me a chance to play pro ball, and then Bobby found a position for me, hung in there with me, and Joe kind of, I look back at this opportunity to play with this great organization and the guys. Joe kind of helped me solidify my career and opened up new doors. I started stealing some bases, and we talked a lot about hitting. Back then we had a hitting coach, but the managers could get involved. You know, they were kind of involved, and Joe and I really clicked on hitting. But you know, he was great to play for, and had my best years under Joe.
All right, I got 2 uniform questions for you. First of all, starting with the quality of these jerseys, right? They have a nice little thinner feel going back to your day. We've got the polyester, right? Like, is this more comfortable that you remember than your game jersey? I feel like this is higher quality than what you wore when you were playing.
Oh, totally. Well, my rookie league year in '74, I was wearing the Braves a wool uniform.
No way.
Yeah. So
Seriously?
I went from Portland, Oregon. My high school
fiber.
team, my high school team, double knits as they were called. I played in double knits.
No
Stretchy way. In high school, I signed a contract, go to Kingsport, Tennessee, and I'm wearing the Braves Navy pinstripes at wool uni, and I'm like,
no
wow,
way.
wait a minute. So
what year is this?
Yeah, even 74, 51 years ago. No wonder I'm wearing wool. It was 51 years ago.
Whoa, that is incredible.
Well, you know what?
I can't imagine the sweat.
I just turned 70, so people need to. You know, I hate to say that to Braves fans. There we go.
Hey, Braves trying to put together a little rally with Murph in the booth here. So Smith at second, Harris at first. A couple of singles to start the bottom of the third.
Second question on the uniform.
So to answer your question, they were polyester-ish.
Yeah.
But they were heavier. Yeah.
These are nice. These are breathable.
This is unreal.
I mean, can you imagine what you would hit if you had played in these?
Oh my gosh!
All right, let's talk hats a little bit.
Yeah,
Can you do me a favor and show these dumb kids that this is not the wear you wear.
Yes, I
show
will.
them how you do the brim, please.
Do it right?
I mean, yeah. Either way, just. Get a night. Let's go. That's the kids. That is the way you wear your hat.
A little bit right there.
You're not trying to put a cup of water on it. Like, it's got to have a bend in the brim. Thank you, Murph. I feel so justified right now.
You got to teach these kids.
Oh my goodness.
I was going to say, to finish that thought, so I'm walking down Fisherman's Wharf with my dad, who we were playing, obviously playing the Giants. My dad came down, and my mom and dad came down from Portland, Oregon. And me and my dad are walking down to Fisherman's Wharf, and a guy walks by. I go, "Hey, Murph, you know, big fan." I go, "Well, yeah, thank you. Where are you from?" "Alaska." But this is the closest we can get to we're TBS kids. Well, I mean, that's the phrase that's been coined now is TBS kids. Just grew up either watching us or the Cubbies on WGN in the morning, in the day, and then the Braves at night. But yeah, I think just this jersey, this color just represents a really unique time in the history of not only the Braves, but the history of baseball. And it was just an honor to be a part of it. And all of us, we all feel very lucky to play.
A shallow right down. Well, you mentioned kind of the differences in how you think players today are a little more athletic. Obviously, the rule changes,
a lot more.
right? But as you watch the game today, what just jumps off the page at you that says, "Wow, that was so much different from when I played"?
Well, we had hard throwers. I think the first thing that comes to mind is, facing Nolan Ryan, J.R. Richard. There's a few guys. Obviously, the quantity of guys throwing at high velocities. And as a hitter, I'm always looking at these guys and saying, when, I'm just trying to think of an example. Oral Hershiser, tough pitcher of the 80s, very tough. A lot like, Greg Maddox, ball always moving. But the point is, I had 4 shots at him. Very seldom did I have at least a quality pitcher. At least you got 3 or 4 shots at him. Now it's such a challenge with the change. Hitting off 3 or 4 guys a night is one of the things that makes it tougher to hit now. And a lot of guys obviously throwing that jumps out to me as a hitter. And the cutter. I'll give you an example on the cutter. They started throwing them when I was close to the end of my career. But I asked Pete Rose, go back a generation before that, I asked Pete Rose how he hit a cutter. You won't believe what he said.
Ooh, this gets away, so 2 in scoring position.
Never faced a guy with a cutter.
Really?
So my point, the cutter is a really tough pitch to adjust to as a hitter. So my point is the cutter's been developed, the velocity's been developed, and the amount of pitchers you face a night.
Yeah, good point, right? Because
it's tough.
Bryce Elder tonight, that cutter is kind of new for him to try to neutralize lefties. I was going to ask you about
a lot more guys throw that cutter. Yeah,
go ahead. Bats. No maple bats when you were playing. Everything was ash, right?
Everything was ash. Get through the.
Yes, up the middle. Acuna driving in the first run on this Friday night.
If you know anybody who can get me that sweatshirt that Mateo was wearing, that thing looks awesome. Little two-seam fastball here, and almost looked like Ronald hit that twice.
Yeah, he did.
Broke his bat. Watch this, Murph.
Oh, my.
Can't teach that. It all counts the same.
This kid does a lot of things you can't teach. Well, getting back to the bats, you know, Ronald uses, I assume it's a maple bat, some are birch, but the point is, yes, with ash, you can't get too light because your wood didn't maintain its density if you got too light. I used a 32-ounce bat, which was relatively light for my generation, but most of it's 32, 33, 34. Generation before that was even heavier. But as you got lighter in ash, you got less dense wood. These maple, you can get down to 30 and 31 and still get really quality wood.
It does look like maple there that Drake Baldwin is using, and you're right. And when they first started coming in, I started noticing maybe late 90s, hard as a rock.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
You know what else is different? A lot of people don't talk about is the varnish. The varnish is better now. In fact, they actually got to test some of the bats. As I understand it, is because you can make the varnish really, really hard to get through.
So that ends it. The third inning was presented by Audi, and it was so great to have number 3 Dale Murphy up
Thanks,
here.
guys, for having me on. It's been a fun night. It's really been
You're the best, Murph.
Really memorable.
You
Thank
are
you very
the
much.
best.
Thank you very
There
much.
is nobody like number 3. He made that uniform famous, and it's an honor to see the Braves wear it tonight.
You're the man, dude. Thank you. So.
You're
Bryce Elder back to work with the Braves off the Acuna RBI hit, leading at 1-0. And again, thanks to Dale Murphy on such a special night for taking a full inning to chat with us here in the booth.
He is such a pleasure to spend time with. It's an honor, quite honestly. And you mentioned it. The guy with that kind of resume, that kind of history, the way that he treats everybody the same is so incredible.
Innocent fly out here off the bat of Ramirez. I mean it. He stops for everybody, and it's a lot of people, and he just says, how are you? Nice to meet you. Yes, I'll take a picture. I'll sign whatever you want. They just don't come any better than Dale Murphy. Well, Bryce Elder doing Bryce Elder things here. A single and a walk, but nothing for the Guardians right now in the 4th inning other than that. Out to right center. That ball may go off the bat of Manzardo, and it does. That is a deep home run for the first baseman to tie the game at 1 apiece.
Remember, in his first at bat, he hit the one that was foul down the right field line. There is a lot of pop in that bat, but there's also a lot of swing and miss and chase. But you give him something in the zone that he can get a hold of, and he's got the ability to crush it. And that's what happened here. You're going to see that. It was a sinker that cut back. There's a look at the grip. Catching too much of the plate there. 454 feet.
Wow, over 450 from Manzardo, who had 27 homers last year. He crushes that to tie the game here in the fourth.
With a name like Manzardo, you really can't hit like wall scrapers, right? If you're going to hit them, they got to go.
So that is the first earned run that Bryce Elder has given up this year. Remember, he gave up 2 last game in Arizona, but it was because of his throwing error, so both of those were unearned. Acuna takes this off the bat of Rhys Hoskins, 2 down. The new celebratory hat over there for the Guardians.
Looks heavy.
It's like Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
These guys are getting creative.
A team that, as you mentioned, has not hit many home runs last year and really didn't have much of an offense last year. But they were able to get into the playoffs, winning their division. And they get a long homer here in the fourth to tie it at 1 apiece.
Welcome back to Truist Park, everybody, where it is Kaiser Permanente's Friday Night Showdown. First one of the season. It's also 80s night. Shout out to the boss, Bruce Springsteen, with his jean jacket. And don't forget about Van Halen with a little 1984 tour shirt. That's what I'm talking about. You remember the mullet. I mentioned Bob Horner earlier. He swears he never had a mullet, but I did because I thought Bob did. So, Bob, if you're watching, well done.
Oh, we almost had an 80s homer for you there, Bertie. But, Paul, you look fantastic.
Thank you, man. That would have been right on point with Bob Horner, too, because he could hit the long ball.
Oh, my gosh. How many different wardrobe changes do we have in store tonight for Mr. Bird? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I don't know that either, because Gretchen Caney, you know, her wardrobe is deep.
Well, she had us in the throwback Blazers pregame. And that was, and we had the old stick mic like
I noticed that, and I loved
Barker.
that. Yes. Took me back.
Oh.
She doesn't ask either, by the way. Like in between innings, she was like, "Put your jerseys on." I'm like, I already got one wife that tells me how to dress. I got another woman telling me this is how you're going to wear your clothes today. We got the jacket, we got the jersey. But Birdie wins the night so far. I mean, these jerseys are awesome, but seeing Paul Bird in that jean vest, that's a winner.
All the 80s styles on 80s night here at the ballpark. Olsen grounded out back in the first. And he grounded out to this man, Rocchio. And he does it again in the fourth, 0 for 2.
Austin Riley.
With Austin Riley coming up, Bertie, we're going to ask you to give a nice report in your 80s gear on Austin Riley.
Yeah, this is a serious report. Talking to Braves hitting coach Tim Hires, he said that Austin Riley was leaking on his front side, which means he's not controlling his stride. He's getting out early. He's lunging at the ball. When he did that, his front shoulder would dip, and he would get underneath the baseball and pop it up. So I love the fact that he's worked on it the last couple weeks. It started to show signs in Anaheim. And again, you're constantly fine-tuning, just like a pitcher, staying back, knowing yourself, doing what you have to do to get in that good pitching or hitting position.
Yeah, those pop-ups were pretty consistent. You could see something wasn't right in that swing. And this is why video is so important. Coaches, what they catch with their eye. You got to believe in it too, right? Somebody will tell you one thing, but you got to believe in it before you're ready to make that change. But he had been getting under a lot of pitches and starting to look a lot better here lately. Kind of wondering when Matt Olson, after that ground out, right, he's going back into the dugout, and if he just looks to his left, he's going to see Bertie with that wig on and that sleeveless vest, and probably wondering what's going on around here right now.
There's even an 80s prom tonight, Bertie. You gotta get into that.
I'm getting some looks, guys. I didn't remember what it was like to reach up on my head, you know, and feel this kind of hair. Feels pretty good.
Yeah. Those locks are flowing.
Yeah, a little MacGyver action right here. You remember MacGyver?
Oh, yeah. Full count here to Riley. That missed, and no challenge, so a one-out walk for Austin Riley.
Well, it's part of the trend that we saw with Austin, too, as he started getting things turned around. He's not chasing borderline pitches that he was seeing well and taking his walks.
So the Braves' last inning, while we were talking to Murph, had 3 singles to play to run. Acuna with the RBI. And the Manzardo homer. So we're all tied here in the bottom of the fourth in game 1 of this series. 0-2 to Yaz.
Surprised to see that Ciccone had such issues with his fastball going back to last year. One of the things that the guys can see up on the board with the data that's available in left field is the horizontal break, the vertical break, not just the velocity and the pitch type. And what you're seeing from Ciccone tonight, he's been up to 20 inches of vertical break, which basically means he's got really good elevation on that fastball where it plays up in the zone well. Those are elite numbers.
Buries the curveball there. Yaz goes after it. 2 down.
Those 2 pitches pair nicely. It's the elevated fastball with some ride, and we told you the curveball is the best secondary offering that he has, and it comes out of that same slot but finishes well below the zone.
So Ozzie now with 2 outs. Ooh, up and in. Third time Ciccone has faced the Braves in his career. First time here at Truist Park. His 2-0 pitch misses, and it's 3-0 to Albies with Dom Smith on deck. The Braves really got to Ciccone last August in Cleveland. Season high 8 runs on 10 hits. But so far he's held him to a single run tonight.
It's not a bad 3-0 swing at all there from Ozzie. He was out in front of that four-seamer, but that's where he wants it. It's bottom half. Again, that fastball plays well up in the top of the strike zone. You see one that is middle or down, especially when he's swinging left-handed, go after it.
Three-one pitch, and now the count full, 3-2. $40,000 tonight at Truist Park to watch the 8-5 Guardians and the 8-5 Atlanta Braves. He could not stop. He tried, but Ciccone gets Albies to send us to the fifth.
Was a fixed.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Truist. A lot of folks buying those beauties today at Truist Park. The unveiling of the new City Connects. And a 1-1 game in the fifth.
I don't mean to go all
next to Captain Morgan here in the booth.
I don't go all Captain Morgan on you, but the Sox, they play. Be like Ozzie.
I'm going to face this way.
Go into work like this tomorrow, right here. Okay. You'll be the coolest guy in the office. Well, I guess not tomorrow. It's Saturday. So you got all weekend to get your socks and go into work like that on Monday. Don't bring your Captain Morgan with you, but just your socks.
I do think Ozzie with those socks and Dubon up the middle as well. I think those guys get the award with the socks for the best dress tonight. And one of them making the play right here. Mauricio Dubon across to retired Naylor.
So far, there's been a lot of fun social media interaction with Braves country. My favorite of the night is that someone said Paul Byrd is giving Joe Dirt vibes with his look. And let's say, yeah, that's probably about accurate.
Great movie, great reference. I'm just going to say Birdie's pulling that off better than Joe Dirt. That's what I'm going to say.
Right.
Shallow left, Yaz in, but he'll take it off the bounce. Martinez with a hit. Here's a quick message from our friends at Zaxby's.
Zaxby's just dropped a whole new line of dry rubs, and they're not playing around. Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's.
I'm told Paul Byrd is in the midst of another wardrobe change, by the way, so stay tuned.
Ooh.
But last inning, CJ, what I was starting to say is so interesting as you go over Cleveland's numbers last year. They really did not hit the ball that well. Now their bullpen, even without Clase, was lights out, and their starting pitching held in there, and that's really how they won the division. But the numbers offensively and leading into this year have just been so-so.
Yeah, and it's kind of how this team has been built, and they really can't afford to struggle on the pitching side because the offense is what it is. Very similar to the Seattle Mariners, although they had a breakout year last year offensively. This team is built around pitching. They've done a really nice job developing their own pitching over the years. They try to address it, but this is not a group that's going to put a lot of money into their team. Their payroll is actually down about $18 million from a year ago at just $84 million. This ballpark, those numbers are not exact, but that's 29th in baseball. And so what do? They bring a guy in like Rhys Hoskins that's going to be lower risk, lower cost. They extend their own guy in Jose Ramirez, who just continues to do them financial favors by signing under market deals. And future Hall of Famer very likely in Jose Ramirez. So they got to do the little things right, kind of to your point. They got to run the bases well. They got to be able to get runners over when they have opportunities.
And they're off to a good start this year with an 8-5 record. The Tigers picked to win the division, but Tigers got off to a 4-9 start this year and just swept in a 4-game series with the Twins. So at least for right now, the Central is up for grabs in the American League. Runner takes off, swing and a miss. And the throw is late, so Martinez is in safely.
There's a couple of guys that run the bases really well, and Martinez is one of them. 10 stolen bases going back to last year. Jose Ramirez, Stephen Kwan, the other two you got to keep an eye on. Not much of a chance here for Drake Baldwin with that higher leg kick from Bryce Elder. He rushed the throw a little bit offline, but I'm not sure it would have made a difference.
Now a payoff pitch coming to Rocchio. And you've got 2 on with 1 out. And a visit right now from Jeremy Hefner. Well, Braves.tv is here. Live or on demand. You can watch it on any device. You do not need cable or satellite. Braves.tv, less than 70 cents a game. Subscribe today. So Jeremy Hefner has said his piece to try to calm down Bryce Elder.
So the issue you have here with Stephen Kwan, the strength of Bryce Elder is that 2-seam fastball. He's got a very high batting average against righties against the 2-seamer. A lot of that has to do with his ability to beat out ground balls. Right, so you take a ground ball and take one of these other outs at third or at second. It doesn't mean you stay away from it. But 351 since last year against 2-seam fastballs from righties. And again, that's Bryce Elder's best pitch.
4-seamer that time for a strike to Kwan. Line drive, base hit to left. Martinez was being held, but now he's being waved, and he will score. So Yastrzemski with a bobble, and that allows the Guardians to grab a 2-1 lead.
As a good defender, you don't see it very often, but this will go down as an error for Mike Yastrzemski. And looked like he had an issue on the exchange. First, you got a cutter that catches too much of the plate, didn't move very much. Again, you want that pitch, especially in an 0-1 count, in or off the plate. And then watch Jazz here, kind of caught it in the heel of the glove. It wasn't on the exchange. He never caught it cleanly. And that ended up being the issue. And just enough, again, the little things, the base running for the Guardians showing up there.
Infield in. So uncharacteristic there for Yastrzemski, and a 2-1 lead for Cleveland.
You could see it clear as day. Odor, the third base coach, putting on the brakes, and really good base running to get to third base as well from Rocchio. He saw that the entire way.
And frustration for number 18 and left. DeLauder 0 for 2, but you can see the numbers there at the bottom. The 5 homers, the 11 driven in already for the rookie, and a 2-1 count on him.
The other thing that does too is it takes the double play out of order, right, allowing Stephen Kwan to get to second base. So if Elder was able to get that ground ball, the defense is set up completely different right now to try to cut the run off at home.
He came out of the gates really hot. Last 5, not as hot. Now, there were some low-scoring games because they were playing in frigid temperatures up in Cleveland. And now the bases are loaded. And they are loaded for Ramirez.
We're going to get some action down in that Atlanta Braves bullpen. Looks like that Aaron Bummer has started to throw. Talked about him often kind of being that fireman type of guy. He hadn't pitched for about a week, then went back-to-back days, got up the 3rd day, and now here he is. That was a day off obviously yesterday, but talked about it. The bullpen could be feast or famine, and right now it's feast for Aaron Bummer.
Well, both bullpens should be relatively rested. Both teams with the off day yesterday. Cleveland coming in after winning a series against Kansas City. And Ramirez swings at the slider and fouls it away.
We talked about Jose Ramirez and Bryce Elder and the matchup. And when you do your homework, it's always important. This clearly, though, when it's most important. Now, 3rd time you're facing him, and you're in a bases loaded jam with just 1 out.
It's ahead of him 0-2.
See a little nod of approval there with the glove from Drake Baldwin. That's the cutter. That's the one he wanted to throw to Stephen Kwan that did not get in all the way. And now you're in a good spot to maybe go for some chase, either up and away with the fastball or bury that slider down and in.
Not far enough away. Baldwin tracks it down. One-two pitch. Got him. Well, that two-seamer really fooled Ramirez.
Last thing he was looking for, it's that late movement that you get from Bryce Elder. Watch where this pitch starts. Look how Drake Baldwin, by the way, is set up. That is really nice. You want to see the glove in there. Give Elder a good target right on the black where he can start that pitch and let it come back in, and just tying up a really good hitter in Jose Ramirez.
That is not an easy thing to do to number 11 for the Guardians. And with 2 down here in the 5th, that is going to be the night for Bryce Elder. He leaves with the bases loaded in a 2-1 ball game.
Playing center.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Georgia Natural Gas. It's that simple. By Delta Airlines, keep climbing. And also by Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine. If it doesn't have this yellow tag, you don't want it. Welcome back to Truist Park. A lot of folks getting those City Connects, some of them personalized here at the Yard before tonight's ball game. Well, Bryce Elder, 4 2/3, 76 pitches. Certainly not because of the arm why he's leaving, but Walt Weiss opting to go with a lefty against Manzardo.
Just a couple of mistakes here for Bryce Elder that ended up costing him, including a pitch to Manzardo. I thought the pitch to Stephen Kwan, the location wasn't there, but overall he still threw the ball pretty well. Just one of those nights where any mistakes seem to be capitalized on by the Cleveland Guardians.
And it is Manzardo who hit that long homer last inning off of Elder, who bats here in a key spot with Bummer coming on out of the pen. First pitch misses. Nowhere to put the first baseman, Manzardo. 2-0. He swings at it, fouls it, and it's going to get into the seats. 2-1.
Bummer has that ability, right? Walks at times can be an issue for him, but he's got the stuff where he can pitch behind in the count, right? That's 2-0. You're getting geared up for a fastball. You get one, and you're still late on it. And it's not because of the velocity. It's the arm angle. It's the movement. It's the deception.
And now the 2-1. He went around. 2-2. Bummer needs one more strike to get out of this thing.
Well, that's his go-to. We'll see if he goes back to the curveball or the sweeper here to try to finish off Manzardo. He could go two-seamer in, but you can't miss.
2-out, 2-2 pitch from the lefty. And he got a piece of the sweeper. That Braves bullpen has been so unbelievable this year with a .82 ERA. Bummer brought into a tough spot here with the bases loaded in the top of the fifth of a 2-1 ball game. Gets him to pop up. Dubon calls off Riley. Bummer does his job. 2-1. We're halfway home in Atlanta on a Friday night. As we go to the bottom of the fifth. Beautiful shots tonight here on Braves Vision. Brandon Gaudin, CJ Nitkowski, Paul Bird with you. Zaxby's, who's got the sauce? So the Braves tops with the Dodgers in run differential so far this season.
It's been a good start to the year and a really good sign. A lot of that has to do with how good the pitching has been, right? Your run differential, pretty clear. Runs scored as compared to your runs allowed. But good to see the Braves on top there. The Dodgers been on a pretty nice run. They went 5-1 on their last road trip, nearly swept it, finishing up in Toronto.
What's interesting thinking about run differential is that the Guardians are just +3. So you think the Braves are 31 runs better, but they have the same record at 8-5.
It goes back to what you were saying earlier about this offense, right? And it's not an explosive one that you expect to put up big runs, but they can win some games by playing those close games. Of course, a lot of that run differential came in that 17-run game that the Braves had in Arizona, so that's given them some pretty big space.
Ciccone dealing to Dom Smith, who singled and scored in the third. Liner to left center, but cheating over that way and down to the ground to make the play, Martinez. That's a couple of hard hit balls, though, tonight for Dom Smith.
He's done a good job first time on the curveball, this time against that four-seam fastball. And I don't know if Martinez just lost this in the lights or just got a little slippy out there in the outfield, but an outs and out.
Weather has been gorgeous yesterday and today. You probably know that if you've been watching the Masters, if you're not located in the Southeast. And knock on wood, the weather for the whole series is really supposed to be spectacular.
Going to see some 80s coming up here on 80s night. How fitting.
Right around 70 right now at the ballpark. Ah, there's someone with some Masters gear.
It's like once you're there, you got to buy the gear, right? I mean, did you notice Darren on the road trip?
He had his on.
He got to play Augusta, wearing his fancy zip pullover jacket, whatever it was, with pride on the bus. Just kind of rubbing it, just waiting for someone to ask.
Yeah.
You don't wear the jacket unless you've been there.
He's like, oh yeah, I just played the other day. No big deal. Shot a 125. It's really unbelievable the amount of millions that they bring in on the gear at that tournament. It
helps keep concession prices down, right?
That's right. That's how a pimento cheese sandwich is $3. Because your local quarter zip's $2,000.
Darren's got that in his ashtray.
Couple of bounces to Brito. 2 away. A message here from Delta.
From Braves country to the world. Delta, official airline of the Atlanta Braves.
Well, outside of the speed bump in the third there, Ciccone is pitching really well so far for Cleveland tonight.
I don't love his pitch count right now as he's getting ready to throw number 70, so he's still got a lot of room. He's been up to 93 already this year.
This one hit pretty well, but no problem for Rocchio. And Ciccone sets him down in order in the 5th.
Well, Braves fans, I hope you haven't lost that love and feeling. Braves down 2-1. Why? Because Spencer Strider threw a bullpen in L.A., and he was phenomenal. According to manager Walt Weiss, what was he doing? Well, he was letting it eat, and it felt really, really good. Said Weiss, I would love to add another pitcher of his caliber. And guys, there's so much more to tell you about this hit, but it's classified. I mean, I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you.
Purdy, I got to tell you,
yeah.
Whatever you said about pitching and Strider, I didn't hear a word because I was locked in on what's going on.
Too much distraction, but you felt the intensity.
Oh, I felt it.
Yeah. That's what Strider's been bringing on the mound.
I'm more distracted by the glasses. Those were amazing.
Swinging bunt. Drake gets it and makes a play to take care of Hoskins.
CJ, it's interesting you mentioned about the glasses because these are not, these are just sunglasses, so they're not prescription. So I was hoping I was looking in the right place. So, anyways, yeah. Hey, 80s are great, aren't they? You guys have a favorite movie?
Well, Top Gun's certainly up there.
Breakfast Club. Saw it in the movie theater. That's probably one of my all-timers.
Was a Few Good Men early 90s? When did a few?
It was.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because that certainly is at the top of my list.
Maybe the greatest 2-minute scene in film history.
Oh.
Jack Nicholson.
I Want the Truth.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like you could pull that off, Bertie. You could have been Nicholson in that movie. I could hear you saying that.
A little nuts. I'm really glad they didn't ruin Top Gun with Top Gun Maverick on the second one because I thought that was equally as good in the theaters.
I was shocked. It's rare, I think, that you can wait that long and make a sequel and have it land, but that one landed.
I agree.
You're going to find this hard to believe I didn't see it.
Oh.
What?
Well, there's time to fix that.
If you ever need to get fired up, CJ, like before a big pickleball match with our team, you go see that. You're
With my
be a
double
10
shot
out of 10.
espresso, I'll be ready to go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tyler Kinley. So you had Bummer come on in relief of Elder, get the final out there in the 5th. Now Kinley is called upon here in the 6th. And a good start for Tyler Kinley as he gets the first 2 Guardians he faces.
I mentioned the bullpen coming into this one with that 0.82 ERA. Had to do a little bit of digging and go back to the last 50 years in our game. First 13 of the year, and that is top 5 in baseball. It has been that good here for the Atlanta Braves. The Orioles, by the way, had the best ERA. I go back and look. I think it was, I forgot what year it was. 1996. They had a 0.29 ERA in their first 13 games.
And that's the record holder?
That is the record holder. Yeah, listen, it's an odd run, right? It's first 13. I'm just doing it based on where the Braves are at this point. We kind of keep tracking it. Going forward, we generally like to go some rounder numbers like 15 or 20 games, but it's been a special start for this group.
The Braves already 3 shutouts this season as well, certainly helping that low ERA for the Pen.
Tyler Kinley said something really interesting in spring training. We're probably going to run out of time, but if Bertie has a chance to chime in on it. He's so slider heavy. He said he would throw a curveball only to help him train his slider. And while he was doing that, somebody's like, hey, man, that curveball is really good. You should probably try to throw it in games.
Well, we can continue that conversation on the other side. 1, 2, 3, really efficient work for Kinley out of the pen.
No.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by your local Ford dealer. By Xfinity, reliable Wi-Fi at one price. Xfinity, imagine that. And by Rooms to Go, it's time to improve the way you sleep. Don't miss the store-wide mattress sale going on now. '86 called It Wants Murphy Back. I love that. Look at the cell phone, too. That reminds me of the old Zach Morris cell phone on Saved by the Bell. That brick that you had to hold up to your face.
Pull the antenna out,
yes.
Right? The whole deal.
We're celebrating the 80s here tonight with the unveiling of the Braves' new City Connect uniforms. Down 2-1 are the Braves here in the 6th.
Inflatable.
That is legit. Wonder if she's just holding that up there the whole game.
Can't text with that phone, though.
No. I was thinking that Field of Dreams was 89. That would be in my 80s wheelhouse for best movies in the 80s. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Well, I put that in my top 3 for sure to go along with Breakfast Club.
Oh, yeah. Karate Kid.
Oh, wait a minute. E.T.?
Was E.T.? Yeah, it would have been
I went
80s.
back and watched that recently. And you get to that point, you get at a certain age, you go back and watch the old stuff, and it feels good and nostalgic and all the other crap that's on television and movies. But Star Wars. But the first one was in the 70s, right? I believe late 70s.
Ronald Acuna Jr. hits it high, deep, and gone. His first of the year ties the game. Until game 14, but it was worth the wait. He got all of that, partner.
He did. Ciccone decided he was going to spin everything to Ronald in that at bat. There's a bunch of curveballs. There was one cutter in there, and he went back to the curveball one too many times. That pitch was just 69 miles an hour. I mean, that was a misread.
Another hard hit ball. Drake Baldwin with a single, and the bat's coming to life.
And take a look at the pitch here again. Ronald did a nice job of laying off the breaking balls that were below the zone earlier in the at bat, and so Ciccone goes in the zone and regrets it immediately. 411 feet later, Ronald's got number 1 on the year. I didn't see it land, did you? I had a hard time tracking that one.
Yeah, I lost it when it got over the bullpen. Now all of a sudden you've got the go-ahead man on, and here's Matt Olson.
How big does that Aaron Bummer-Manzardo matchup look now when he comes in, bases loaded, tough spot, fell behind in the count, but was able to get out of it without giving up a run.
Yeah, that was huge to end the 5th, and then Kenley with a 1-2-3-6. The bullpen continues to excel for Atlanta. Three balls, no strikes. Double barrel action for the Guardians. Swinging 3-0. A moonshot for Mario. escalated quickly. 3 batters into the bottom of the 6th. 2 homers and a single, and Atlanta has a 4-2 lead.
The facial expression of Ronald Acuna Jr. told you everything you needed to know about that home run. I'm going to call Statcast a liar at 441. That was a bomb. That hit the roof, right? That cleared everything?
Yeah. He hit it so high, CJ. That was unbelievable.
I'll buy the 112 miles an hour off the bat, and you can see even Tim Meyer is kind of like, oh my. That was walloped.
And now 3-0 here to Riley.
I can't imagine it feels any better than that felt right there for Matt Olson.
His 4th of the season, and with an exclamation mark. Everybody getting into the act. But let's enjoy that Matt Olson homer one more time.
Let's, as he gets this pitch to handle. You mentioned the count there, 3-0. It is not a gimme. You see something you like, you go after it. And Matt Olson liked that and went after it. My goodness. Again, 441 feet. Everybody knew it as soon as he hit it. How much did it clear by? Yikes. Oh, it actually bounced back. Somebody got that ball.
And a meeting on the mound as things are unraveling for Ciccone. And look who's here, loving all of the action here in the 6th. Brian Snitker. I think he just said, holy cow, after that homer. Did his best Harry Carey. For the last 4 balls, Acuna 105, Baldwin 108, Olson 112, Riley 109 off the bat. That's really unbelievable. Another hard hit ball gets by Manzardo, but picking him up Brito. Riley to second base.
You know, the other part about Olson and Austin Riley right there, both of them in 3-0 counts and getting aggressive. And so as Ciccone has fallen behind, the Braves are not letting him off the hook.
And that is going to be it for Ciccone, who through his young career has had troubles when he gets through the lineup a 3rd time, and that was the case tonight. And he exits here in the 6th. Friday Night Showdown is brought to you by our friends at Kaiser Permanente. 4-2 Braves, 2 long homers, Acuna and Olson here in the 6th inning. Our Whataburger, what a play.
We knew when Ronald got there it was going to be glorious, and this one was a slow curveball that he pounds out to left field, and then Matt Olson on a 3-0 pitch of no doubter, and Ronald enjoyed it as much as everybody else in this ballpark did. How about that lighting? What's great lighting on Matt Olson?
What a turnaround. What electricity in this ballpark. All right, so Matt Festa trying to put out the fire here for the Guardians out of the pen.
Fastball, sweeper, cutter. You get a two-seamer as well. Off to a slow start, though. 6 ERA here through his first 5 outings in 6 innings.
Traded from Texas last May. Back in that Guardians uniform for 2026.
Mentioned 5 outings so far. 4 of them have been at least an inning, including going up to an inning and 2/3. So we try to get a little bit of length out of him here the first game of this series. Both teams had the off day yesterday, right? So the bullpens should be in pretty good spots. We talk about it often, setting a tone and getting to a pen. It looked like Ciccone was on his way. His pitch count was intact, but you talked about it. 3rd time through turned into a disaster for him. And so now the Braves do get into that Guardian pen.
Ozzie broken bat. And Ramirez throws across to get him. Riley 90 feet away now from home plate. And the Braves have really grouped their hits together. When they had those 3 hits in a run in the 3rd inning, it was in the span of 10 pitches. And then here in the 6th, 4 hits in the span of 11 pitches. So everything was lumped together against Ciccone tonight. It happened quickly. And that ball is going to stay fair. Dom Smith with an RBI single, and it's 5-2 Atlanta.
When Dom Smith gets back to the dugout, some guys are going to be asking him, how did you hit that pitch, bro? Because this thing was so far up and in, it is nearly impossible to try to keep a pitch like this fair. Look at the location. Watch the glove come across here. That is incredible. So that is riding in on him up off the plate. How he didn't break his bat or pull that foul is absolutely amazing.
This ball is crushed. Right center. Everybody into the act in the 6th inning tonight. This time it's Harris. An 80s party at Truist, and everyone's invited in those powder blues.
So Ronald kicks things off and hits a bomb that you and I both lost track of. Little do we know that would be the shortest home run of the inning by a pretty wide margin. He hit a 411. There goes Michael Harris at 425 feet. He knew it right away when he hit it, and these guys are having a good time right now.
Acuna, Olsen, and Harris all with long bombs. And this game has totally flipped on its head here in the 6th inning. Dubon is the 9th Brave to come to the plate here in the 6th. Fouls away the sweeper. A sellout crowd. They were just waiting for this offense to explode, and explode it has.
I think those people at the Omni thought they had a chance to catch Matt Olson's homer.
Now it's Dubon. That one is going to bounce up against the wall. Just an unreal offensive output by the Braves in the 6th inning.
Well, they're stacking highlights for now and making it difficult. Let's bring you back to Michael Harris first. Jumping on a first pitch cutter, and you see it kind of spinning, almost coming back, just sitting there, asking Michael Harris to hit it. He obliged and smoked it into right center field, clearing that Braves bullpen.
Holy smokes.
Oh, yeah, bat flip. That's a beautiful shot right there.
And none of these have been cheapies. It all started with Acuna as he comes up swinging and fouls it away. It was Acuna's solo homer that began this sixth.
So jokingly we say Ronald got showed up a little bit by the other 2 home runs. Now he's got a chance to leapfrog it. I don't think he's thinking about that, but how apropos it would be for for Ronald to go a little bit further than Matt Olson did at 441. He's certainly done it before. Was it 495 at this ballpark?
Yep, the longest. That was off the bat of Acuna. Seven hits in the inning, 3 homers and counting. Braves do have a challenge left, but Acuna not using it there. Longest career home run drought to start a season. Well, this was second to 2 years ago, but he ended that here in the 6th. Left field. This one, though, unfortunately does not have the juice. But 6 runs on 3 homers in the 6th for the Braves.
What a fun inning it was to watch. Ronald Acuna Jr. kicking things off at 4:11. Matt Olson at 4:41, and then Michael Harris jumping in as well. 3 bombs for the Braves as they go up.
Well, it had been 21 months since the Braves had 3 homers in an inning. July of 24 against St. Louis when Riley, Ozuna, and Rosario did it. Tonight, it's Acuna, Olson, and Harris, all with homers in the 6th. It's 7-2 Atlanta. And Dylan Lee is now on for the 7th.
And like every other reliever coming out of this pen, Dylan Lee off to a really nice start with his 1.59 ERA. 5 2/3 innings here so far, and he has not walked a hitter.
High fly out to left. Yaz over to take it. Let's check out our Valvoline quick change stats. This is what we were talking about, CJ. That bullpen just lights out.
ERA is one thing, though. WHIP is another. We don't talk about it a lot, right? But the walks and the hits per innings pitched, that is an absurd number at .73, and just that 1 home run allowed here so far. By the way, we did see the Freeze go down in between innings, which this fan base enjoyed. If I'm the Freeze after what I just saw, Don't bring jack dudes to come down and run against me. That guy looked like he could absolutely run, and he did.
Riley racing in. 2 down to the top of the 7th.
Get me the dad past his prime.
Yeah, you don't want to kill the mojo, but like you said, the crowd was excited because you don't see it very often. Top of the order, and Stephen Kwan. Stay tuned for the stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Nick Green and birthday boy Charlie Culberson ready out of the battery.
Never thought I'd say this in my life, but Charlie Culberson, a little bit of a fraud today, trying to claim that he was an 80s baby, born in 1989.
Yeah,
get out of here.
That's a 90s kid. Challenge here. T-Mobile bringing us this ABS challenge review. It is a strike. So both teams 1 challenge remaining. Down goes Kwan. 7 pitches in the 7th for Dylan Lee. A 7-2 ball game as we head to the stretch.
Welcome to the stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Service, savings, sustainability. It's that simple.
Impact player Drake Baldwin. Why? Because he is the best at hitting the gas. I was talking to Tim Hires earlier. There's a lot of great hitters on this team, and I said, who's number 1 at the high fastball? Because we're going to see a lot of it this weekend. He said, no question, Drake Baldwin. I said, why? He goes, well, I think it had to do with hockey. And I like to call it the slap shot, and he corrects me. He says, no, it's not the slap shot. It's the wrist shot. And he says he's the best at firing the wrist and getting to the ball super quick. And you see the numbers right there, guys.
Yeah, we see that level swing, his ability to get his hands above the baseball, right? Because what you saw with Ciccone, who started this game, is that he does have that really high vert fastball, and it's hard to hit if you don't have somewhat of a level swing. Slap shot, unfortunately, 1977, so will not count in our 80s movies.
And this time a bouncer on the ground off the bat of Baldwin, 1 away.
And I'm generally not one to give marital advice, but I'm going to throw this out to Paul Bird. Wear that outfit home tonight.
You know what?
I think Kim's going to be digging that a little bit.
She'll be digging that? Well, I'm just going to keep it on. I was going to change because my fear was that nobody would take me seriously if I was wearing this, but we scored 6.
Yep.
I'm a little bit, stitious, not superstitious, a little bit stitious. Shout out to the office. So I ended up sitting over in this chair, and I didn't want to move. And quite honestly, it was a blast to watch. And so, yeah, I didn't change. It's a full-length outfit, and I got to go to the restroom to change.
Well, it looks like you got a big zipper that goes all the way down, so that'll help when you have to go to the restroom.
You know what, CJ? Yeah, you're right. You don't miss a thing. So I can't change in the well. you know.
But it looks comfortable though too. Is it comfortable?
It is comfortable, yeah.
So I was joking around with BG about the socks. They're much more comfortable wearing my socks and then my pants pulled up high. The pants that I'm wearing get a little tight, even around my skinny calves. I'm kind of in on the high socks going forward. It wasn't a bit. This is where we're at.
This is a new thing going forward.
I'll see you all tomorrow with the high socks.
I pitched in high socks. I loved it. I did it because it was a retro night and it felt so good. I didn't want to quit.
You know what doesn't feel good?
What's that?
My hamstring after that move, trying to lift my leg up to show my sock. That was a mistake.
You want a heartfelt story on the high socks?
Yes, I do.
All right, I'm pitching for Philly and AAA. I wear the high socks. I give up 6 or 7 runs. I'm sorry, I'm pitching for the Atlanta Braves against the Phillies in Richmond. And I give up 6 or 7 runs. And I go home, and I'm really upset. I even punched the radio driving home, and it's one of those deep gut checks where you're questioning yourself. I get to the house, and my wife takes me in the back room, and my son, Grayson Bird, would not go to bed until he pulled his high socks up over his pajamas because he wanted to be just like his dad.
Oh, that is awesome.
That made you forget about your performance real quick, I bet, right?
It did, and I thought, I'm taking this game too seriously. But he was a hitter. Another thing that
and then he
made me
became
laugh.
a left-hand hitting shortstop.
Yeah, another thing that made me laugh is when I was giving up home runs in Richmond at night, he was cheering for the other team because he liked to see the homers. So that's my high sock story.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And Birdie could pull it
humble.
off. Yeah, I think Birdie had the build to pull it off, right? Strong enough lower body. You can't have the skinny calves. It's never a good look, right? For me,
that's true.
I can't. I don't like high 3/4 spikes. That was also not a really good look with high socks.
They're checking on Naylor, but he's okay. Home plate umpire Dexter Kelly getting back to business here. Peyton Paulette is the hurler out of the pen. He got Baldwin. Now a 3-2 to Matt Olson, and he walks it. Truest leaderboard, speaking of Matt Olson, with that homer in the 6th. 10 extra base hits already this year, most in the National League.
And none more fun to watch than that home run that he hit here on that 3-0 count. He absolutely thumped it. Matt Olson been in a good place here early on.
And maybe lost in all of the shuffle going on here tonight in that big 6th inning is Austin Riley. Another walk and a single. He had a line out as well. So over the last few games, Riley swinging a good bat.
See Austin Riley look up right there. I kind of wondered at the fastball. They know going in, but he can look up at the board. He can see the horizontal run at 14 inches, which is a lot. The vertical break a little bit closer to league average. And it does tell you something. And again, going in, but you like to peek up and just see how it's playing today. And based on what your eyes see and then what the data will tell you up on the scoreboard. Do I need to get up above this ball? Is it rising as much as we talked about?
Yeah, for this rookie Paulette with just his 5th big league appearance, none of these guys have seen him live. So this is their first time going against the right-hander. Three and 2 to Riley. Underneath it, lifted towards DeLauder. 2 down to the bottom of the 7th. A message right now from Kia. We just wanted to build the drama for Kia there. Now Yastrzemski. This pitcher Paulette from the southeast from Little Rock, Arkansas. And played his college ball at Arkansas. 2nd round pick out of there in 2022. Well, very early in the season, but with the Marlins losing today, the Braves right now in sole possession of first in the NL East and a chance to go a full game up on the Fish if they can hang on to this 7-2 lead tonight. That's 2 walks in the inning, 2 on, 2 out.
Thought I saw something today too that these are the 2 teams in baseball that haven't lost a series yet, right? So you have both the Guardians and the Braves. 2 enter, only 1 can leave with that streak still intact.
Carl Willis to the mound. All right, Braves country, dust off your boots. Get ready for a brand new tradition at Truist as the Braves and Live Nation together host Braves Country Fest, presented by Truist, June 13th. You can see the star-studded lineup there on your screen. Braves.com/BCF to see the full lineup and to get your tickets. Oh, you've got one of the T-shirts for Ella Langley that's performing.
BG, you got one of these T-shirts too, but I don't put them. I thought I
no,
saw.
I did, but I don't know where it is.
Oh well, I'll get you organized. But there's the shirt right there.
But there are a couple of options. Val, I don't know. I blame myself.
Somebody stole it.
I blame myself. I had it earlier, so nobody's surprised I misplaced it, along with my dignity and my future. Ah, there it is.
Oh, you got a different one. Oh, you got one with dates on the back.
See, I like this one.
You got the tour shirt for sure right there.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yep.
Get your papers over here.
Oh, thank you. They're not important. On the road, he gets me cookies. At home, he picks up my paperwork. Nobody better than C.J. Nitkowski.
It's going to be a bad weekend, though. Sunday night baseball, so it's NBC. You know what that means? No Sunday bagels.
Oh, that's true. And we watch from our couch, so that means Gretchen just said in my ear that means Saturday bagels.
Bagels are a morning food.
That's true. Tomorrow's a 7:15 game.
We have a day game Wednesday. I guess it might be Wednesday against Miami, right? Is that, No, it's a night game too.
That's a night game too before heading to Philly. That's right
for you guys, because I do have a dozen Asiago right now that are bulk fermenting. It's going to be a party at the Nitkowski house. Megan says to me, "Oh, we're finally going to get some now."
You're going to take care of your family. Thank you. 3-1 to Ozzie. 3-2. Paulette, you can see command sometimes an issue. 2 walks and now a 3-2 count on Albies. Payoff pitch. Ozzie up the middle. Send him home, Tommy. Here comes Matty O. He scores. It is 8-2 Atlanta.
Paulette got to that 3-1 count and tried to go back-to-back breaking balls. It was the slider, and then this one is the curveball that just kind of hangs out there on the outer half. And so Ozzie gets a good look at spin and hangs in there, keeps the hands back just long enough, get himself this hard ground ball up the middle for an RBI.
Runners at the corners now. And Dom Smith, who's 2 for 3 with an RBI hit at the plate. Another performance where every Brave has reached. And only Yaz doesn't have a hit. The other 8 do have at least 1 hit apiece. And Dom Smith slaps it to left. It's a 3-hit game for Smith. It's a 7-run lead for Atlanta.
Well, remember the last at bat, Dom Smith got a pitch that was up and in off the plate, turned it into an RBI single. They try to go up again, and this time, and it's above the zone. Another guy just keeping his hands above the baseball. Look at that beautiful shot there of Dom Smith going the other way, and how you contend with a high fastball.
Now Michael Harris, who had a loud 2-run homer last inning. Yeah, you've done a great job of pointing it out, but some of the at-bats and the approaches tonight by these Braves hitters, just tremendous.
Well, the game has gone north to south at times with certain pitchers, and these guys have had to learn how to hit that high velocity. Not everybody can do it, and Bertie talked about how Drake Baldwin is the guy that you look to right now based on his swing, but he's not the only one on this team that can do it. Dom Smith's been really impressive with the pitches that he has been able to get to.
Let's take our trip around the bases, brought to you by Destin Fort Walton Beach, Florida, with that Harris homer last inning.
Yeah, maybe a little envy watching the other guys get it done, and so Michael Harris got his trip around the bases as he went up over that Atlanta Braves bullpen.
A lot of fun being had in that home dugout. That will end it, but after getting 6 in the 6th, the Braves get 2 more in the 7th.
Come to my
Are we looking at the next great doctor at Kaiser Permanente? We'll see. I know we're looking at some cute kids tonight here at Truist Park. Something about kids at the yard, especially on a night like this. It has been special from the start. Murph throwing out the first pitch, the new uniforms, the offensive explosion in the 6th. And there's a hard hit ball. Suarez comes into the game. First pitch he throws. DeLauder turns on it for a stand-up double.
As the Braves start to separate here a little bit more on the score, even though we saw a couple of the high leverage guys and Tyler Kinley, Dylan Lee. With this 7-run lead, you can afford to go to a guy like Jose Suarez, try to give, if possible, both Raisel Iglesias and Robert Suarez the night off.
Now, before that hit, the Braves pen had retired all 7 that they had faced. Now, here's Ramirez from the right side. Toward the gap, Harris backing over. He's got it.
It's so fun watching Michael glide in the outfield. You're going to get a great look of it. This is pretty much what we get to see, and you get this feeling of balls he's going to get to. He actually slowed down and got to that one pretty easily.
Retiring Ramirez for round number 1. Now the cleanup hitter Manzardo, who hit that long solo homer back in the 4th. 0-2.
How about that? Jose Suarez reaching back and getting a fastball past Manzardo. He's got a lot of power. It's a big swing. It's impressive. Same.
Yeah. But we are glad that you are up here at Truist Park with the rest of us.
Barely, that kid. Fighting the good fight right now. Maybe for some more ice cream.
Down goes Manzardo, and Jose Suarez with a strikeout here in the 8th. 2 down.
That is textbook right there. You speed up his bat with that 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and then you just pull the string on this changeup, which is 12 miles an hour slower, and then just disappears. You sell it with the arm speed. And that's a good sales job by Jose Suarez. Salesman of the year.
And now Rhys Hoskins. Quiet offseason for the Guardians, but this is one of their new additions. Rhys Hoskins hoping to find the magic that he had years ago in Philadelphia, but last couple of seasons things did not work out with the Brewers.
Yeah, there's high upside here, right, because of the history. Some injuries got in the way as well, but just $1.5 million to bring in Rhys Hoskins. They needed some right-handed help. He's a good veteran at 33 years old. And these are the kind of moves that a team like the Guardians have to make with that low payroll.
Yeah, it shows you how quickly things can change. Though he's coming off that time in Philly and had an injury, but he was a big get for Milwaukee at the time. 2 years, $34 million, and as you say, now this year, $1.5 million to play for Cleveland. Suarez ahead of him, 1-2. Downstairs with a changeup. The rookie DeLauder out at second, the veteran Hoskins at the plate, and Suarez steps off. Two down, 2-2 pitch. Fouled back.
The fastball looks good tonight for Jose Suarez. Got the swing and missed. A little bit late, fouling it straight back, and again we'll see now if that sets up this potential changeup.
Hoskins can be a tough customer. Pretty good plate discipline for Rhys Hoskins. Suarez kicks, deals. Bouncing in, full count.
I always wonder if you lose the effect there a little bit, right? You get the fastball, he's late. Again, we use that phrase, you speed up a bat. Great time to come back with something slow. But Hoskins took a timeout. Kind of a lot of time passes in between. And I've always kind of wondered, do you really get the same effect if you get a little bit of length of time in between those two pitches?
Little time to agree on something there with Drake Baldwin. Here we go. He had him out in front of the slider, but he got a piece. (9-2) game, 9th pitch of the at bat. Line drive, Dubon can't get it. DeLauder around third, and that will make it 9-3 here in the 8th.
It's a little credit to Rhys Hoskins. Not that we want to give it to him as an opponent, but that's a good at bat. It ends up being the 9 pitches, as you mentioned, fouled off some tough ones, and Jose Suarez goes back to the fastball. You got the big lead. You don't want to mess around too much. You want to be inside the strike zone. So he goes heater down the middle, and Hoskins was on it.
Now Juan Brito. Just the third major league game for Brito. The 24-year-old debuted on Tuesday against the Royals. Was called up when shortstop Gabriel Arias went on the IL with that hamstring issue. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Suarez 1-2 pitch. Two-seamer misses to make it 2-2. Braves trying to take game 1 of this 3-game set against Cleveland. They've won the series against them in 4 straight seasons. And trying to start off on a good foot here in 2026.
Between Hoskins spoiling a couple of good pitches and now Brito here, that was a great 2-2 changeup that he just barely gets a piece of, and so the pitch count starts to climb up a little bit here on Suarez, as does the frustration.
21st pitch of the frame. Ground ball, and it does find the outfield grass. So the inning continues. 2 aboard with 2 out. That'll get Jeremy Hefner out to the mound.
It's been a lot of good pitches this inning for Jose Suarez. Not too much to worry about.
Hey, looking ahead to April 24th, how about Star Wars night at Truist Park? Specialty ticket package will include a Matt Olson Mandalorian bobblehead and a ticket to the game. It's also going to be character appearances and photo ops, so whether you're young or old, come and enjoy the fun. Braves.com/Star Wars to get all the information. What's Gretchen going to have us do that night?
Don't give her any ideas, please.
We're going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'll be Jabba the Hutt. Oh wait, we're not working that night.
No,
that's
really,
on Apple TV.
That's
so
some terrible news.
We'll let them deal with that. We'll be at home with our lightsabers. David Fry is hitting here in the spot of Bo Naylor. Takes a pitch upstairs. Falling behind here, 3-0. Checked down, but he did not offer. Now on deck, you've got Martinez. Nowhere near. Braves do have Yoel Payam swarming in the bullpen right now.
Well, not what Walt Weiss wanted to do, which is get another arm up here in the 8th inning. You were hoping, as we mentioned at the beginning of the inning, that Jose Suarez could at least get you through this one with the big lead and maybe one more. But with the bases loaded, you've got to get somebody else up.
Trying to put out the fire here against Angel Martinez, who's 1 for 3 with a single. Suarez gets ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. Martinez coming off his best offensive game as a big leaguer Wednesday against the Royals. He had a homer, a double, and 4 driven in a 10-2 win. Suarez trying to prevent that right here in the 8th. 0-2 pitch upstairs.
So he throws 2 basically chase pitches in the 0-2 count, right? The elevated fastball, the changeup below the zone. But both of those, one a little bit too high, that one just a little bit too low as you're trying to entice Martinez to swing. You're okay with them being out of the zone. You just want them a little bit closer.
2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Full count. Drake had to reach up to grab it, and you can see Suarez not happy with himself.
From 0-2 to 3-2, and he overthrows this one. So now it's a matter of dialing back a little bit and just throwing a quality strike. You're not thinking edges, not with the bases loaded right now.
3-2. Reaches for it, slaps it. And Dubon takes it off the bounce. Our view blocked. For a moment looked like he caught it, but he did not.
That was a heck of an effort. Mauricio Dubon was the only guy that was going to have any chance at this. And I'm with you. We saw that, and we got blocked by the ball, and then you saw him turn around with it in his glove. But he kind of let you know that it bounced as soon as he came up looking to where he wanted to throw it.
So the Guardians making it a little more interesting than Walt Weiss was hoping for here in the 8th. He's going to have to dip back into the bullpen. We'll be back to Truist Park in a moment.
And choosing the
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Destin Fort Walton Beach, Florida, by Chevrolet, and by Xfinity. Reliable Wi-Fi at one price. Xfinity, imagine that. So the Guardians have had 4 straight reach with 2 outs here. That was against Suarez. He exits. You got runners at the corners, and as we talked about, it'll be Yoel Payamps to come in here and try to put out the fire.
And now the 5th base runner that the Braves bullpen will inherit. Aaron Bummer did a nice job of stranding all 3. Now it's Payamps that you're hoping can strand these 2. So far, a nice start to his season in his 5 games. Sweeper, 4-seamer, 2-seamer, and changeup.
There's the sweeper to Brian Rocchio at the bottom of the order. Suarez was almost out of it. It was that long at bat with Rhys Hoskins that ended after 9 pitches that kept things going, and then Brito singled, Fry with a walk, and then Martinez with that bloop hit to make it 9-5. Out to left center here. Harris, and yes, over. It'll be Harris to take it on the track. 9-5 as we go to the bottom of the 8th.
Go, go.
Well, tonight our Yellowwood Bringing the Lumber feature is pretty easy. It's the 3 homers in the 6th inning where the Braves really did bring the lumber.
That was fun to watch too. And for Matt Olson, the biggest one of the night, Michael Harris getting in there. Good to see Ronald get his first one, right? You know, of course, he had been dying to get that first homer. Maybe that gets him on a little bit of a roll. We will see. But great inning for the Braves as they got it done with the 3 big homers.
And now it is a former Brave, Colby Allard, who was the Braves' first-round pick back in 2015, coming into the game to pitch. And he gives up a single to right center to Mauricio Dubon.
An old Brave versus a new Brave for a nice little base hit there for Dubon.
That was a heck of a 2015 draft the Braves had. They took Allard 14th overall, Michael Soroka 28th, Riley 41st, and then A.J. Minter 75th overall. Back to the mound, and Allard fields his position. A little bit of a high throw, but he got him.
And he kind of leads with that cutter. You see it there. And he had a nice bounce back season for the Guardians a year ago. 33 games for him. 2 of those were starts. Had a 2.63 ERA over that time. Low strikeout rate. Never been a real big swing and miss guy. But he uses that cutter for weaker contact like he just did there to Ronald.
Swing and a miss for Drake Baldwin. Baldwin strikes again. All the way to the wall. It's going to produce another run. The Braves are in double digits. It's 10-5. And Baldwin this year has now driven in 16.
I mean, just crushing it here with runners in scoring position. When the opportunities are there, the at-bats have just been terrific. And this is that cutter again. And look at Drake just go out there and hook it down the right field line, staying back just long enough. He looked like he had been out in front of it. Never a big fan of the left-on-left cutter, especially as a strike. And Drake does some damage.
And again with 2 strikes, CJ.
Yeah, it's his favorite.
Just unfazed. Now Matt Olson, who had one of those long homers in the 6th.
So Drake came in hitting an even 400 with runners in scoring position tonight.
Get a challenge here.
Call on the field is confirmed. Cleveland has no challenge remaining.
So the Guardians fail, and they are out of challenges.
David Fry stayed in to catch. They technically have 3 catchers here. It doesn't catch often, but for games like this, when he pinch hits, you can leave him in there. Austin Hedges, of course, is your backup, and he's a great defensive catcher, a little bit lighter with the bat, so they leave Fry in there just in case he gets another chance to hit.
Olson out to left field towards Martinez. 2 outs, and now Riley to the plate.
So ABS is new to 2026. Braves Vision is new. We talked about this the other day, but for those that are looking at our score bug, you can see right next to the little A, it's that little white dash. There was 4 of those to start the game. That meant the Guardians had 2 ABS challenges left. The Braves had 2. Well, it's down to 1 only for the Braves, and the Guardians are out. So if you're ever looking over at the score bug and kind of wondering what those white dashes are, not Morse code, now you know.
And the other day I was today years old when I found that out.
I think it's worth a mention every once in a while, right? I mean,
absolutely.
it's one of those things that, you know, as much as we wish everybody was watching every single game, they're not. And
they're not?
You see, I know.
No.
That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true or not.
Okay, then I've been lied to. Riley drops it out in front of Martinez, and then Martinez drops the ball. So Riley gets to second. Baldwin scores easily. It's an 11-run outburst for Atlanta tonight.
Another good day here for Austin Riley. A couple of base hits and a walk, and does a good job staying on the 4-seamer. It's just 90 miles an hour. Did have some cut to it in. I think what you saw here with Martinez, he wanted to make the throw and realized he shouldn't, and he couldn't stop himself, and so the ball squirted out of his hand, and that is good heads-up base running, and why you make no assumptions on a base hit like that. And Austin Riley ends up at second base, giving Yaz a chance to drive him in.
Folks, when we headed to the bottom of the 6th, it was a 2-1 ball game with Cleveland on top. But then Atlanta got 6 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th. Cleveland got 3 in the top of this inning, and now the Braves with 2 more as they strike right back. Well, Yaz did walk and score last inning, but right now he's the only Brave in the lineup without a hit. Let's see if he can change that here. Check down, and he did go, and that will end the 8th inning. But a 6-run cushion for the Braves as we march to the 9th.
Chevy truck.
We take you to the top of the ninth with the Braves leading the Guardians by a score of 11-5. Time now for our Card Shield defensive play of the game. And a lot of times you think about the glove. What about the pitchers? They're on defense in a way. They're playing defense. And Aaron Bummer did a great job with the bases loaded to get the Braves out of that jam, keep it 2-1. They were trailing at the time. The offense got them back into it, and now a pretty healthy lead here as things get passed on to Oswaldo Bido. And he's done a good job here so far in his 3 games. This guy has got a really nice live 2-seam fastball. It sits at 95 miles an hour. His slider's been untouchable so far. It's been a good combination. 4-seamer and a changeup in there as well for Bido.
Yeah, so even though Suarez ran into trouble last inning, the pen has been clutch again for Atlanta. After Elder went 4 2/3, Bummer got that out, and then the pen would retire the next 6 in order to really help stabilize things. And now Bido looking for the final 3 outs.
He just wrote one of my Ford keys for me for tomorrow.
Which is?
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
You said it. My hint will be
the pen is clutch.
Sean Connery. That's my hint.
Con Air?
No. I should meditate on that for 20 or so hours. I'm going to write it down now so I don't forget.
You're looking ahead. I like it. Speaking of tomorrow, to be Martin Perez and Parker Messick. And then Chris Sale on Sunday against Tanner Bybee. That game will be on NBC and Peacock.
Oh, Bido wanted to challenge it. We get so focused. Are they going to let it happen? Did it happen too late? They are.
Pitcher challenging the call of a ball.
Go for it.
You don't see it often from a pitcher. Wow.
Call on the field is confirmed. Atlanta has no challenge remaining.
Come on. You can't get a piece of paper in between there.
That's as close as it gets.
I wasn't sure if it was going to be too late. That's a good looking pitch, and that's probably why Bido was frustrated. And he got there quick enough and tapped ahead.
By the way, I said Con Air. That's Nicolas Cage. I was thinking of The Rock.
The good news is you can get away
The
with any
Rock
of your movie
with Sean
references
Connery.
and be wrong about them. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you and I, we're not exactly movie buffs, as they say.
Just buff. Just plain
yeah,
buff.
That's
what
also
they say.
inaccurate. 1-2 here to DeLauder. Double and a run scored last inning for the rookie Chase DeLauder. Hard hit. Olsen there to second for 1. Double play.
It was well hit, but to the wrong guy. 109 off the bat here, but that's Matt Olson, the Gold Glover, who does this so extremely well. Not just the throw, but the footwork there to put himself in a good position to make that throw and get back. See the shuffle of the feet there. Perfect to DeBon. He knew it all day long for that, what made it look like an easy 3-6-3.
One more out to get here on this Friday night. And they are enjoying swimming over there at the Omni. They probably have Braves vision on in the background, though, right?
I gotta think there's a TV out there.
Yeah. 0-2. 1 strike to get. Tough guy to get it on. The veteran Ramirez, the 7-time All-Star. Bido deals. 1-2.
It's a good spot to go with the slider. Surprised we didn't get a check there. Now potentially maybe elevate that fastball and go up and away.
They'll give it a look, but won't have a play.
They tried to. That was a good pitch from Bido. The focus again is the 2-seamer and the slider. That was good usage of his four-seamer.
Two balls, two strikes. Most everybody here at Truist Park is up and on their feet. Vito trying to close it out. Well struck. Long run for Harris. He gets to it. Braves win. Well, 6 runs in the 6th is the difference tonight. Harris with a catch to clinch it. 11-5 the final. We'll be back to Truist in a moment.